Wagoner, service Honda, built500.com. It's a limited production model built for on and off-road use. It is street legal. It has a headlight, tail light, turn signals, ignition switch. Let me give you a quick demo. Check this out, guys. High beam, low beam. Turn signal. LED turn signals. Got a brake light. And the best part, an ignition key. Why is the ignition key the best part? Well, if you don't want Junior to ride it, or you don't want it to get stolen, just pull the key out. Just like any other street legal motorcycle, it won't start without the key in it. It's got a full switch housing on here with the high beam, low beam, left and right turn signal on here, rear view mirror. It has, this is built again by Service Honda. It's not a Service Honda if it doesn't say, well, some of the earlier ones didn't have this stamping, but the later ones had this Service Honda stamping on there. AJ Wagoner built and designed this model. Take a look at the frame rails on this thing. I always say, take those that look like it brand new, like it just came out of the box. I believe the previous owner didn't off-road this at all, based up by the condition of the cycle parts, the original pegs, the shifter, the engine cases, the engine covers, the swing arm. Guys, this is the original front wheel on it, and it has virtually no off-road wear whatsoever, nor is there any damage on the fork lowers or the calipers. The AFX was made by AJ to satisfy the needs of riders that were going to be riding in the desert or off-road or Eastern Enduros. It was the same basic frame. It was as the regular CR500AF, but he changed some key components on it, namely the 18-inch rear wheel, and they geared it for a little lower. They went with one tooth smaller on the rear sprocket to gear it up a little bit. So yeah, the 18-inch rear wheel, a little bit different suspension setting. It has the headlight, the tail light. This one has the turn signals, high beam, low beam, the ignition switch. This one has an Acewell Ace 3200 Enduro computer on there. Lots of tasty upgrades on this. It's got Renthal handlebars, Pro Grip 801s. It's got the rear view mirror. It also came from the factory with a larger gas tank, so you could go ride longer distances on it. You can see the radiators are the Service Honda aluminum radiators. This has got some tasty upgrades on it, like the Gold Series FMF gnarly pipe. That's a little bit thicker than the Fatty, better for off-road use. It has the matching aluminum silencer, FMF silencer. Junior, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're racing a CR500 now. How cool would it be to have a street legal 500 to go ripping around?
Yeah, ride it everywhere. That's sort of the dream, is to have one that's street legal, so you can take it on the track or ride it to the track, ride it 7 days a week. You can use it as a commuter if you wanted to. But yeah, having one that's set up with the lighting kit, that's also a Service Honda on a new chassis. Freaking total Unobtanium. Few and far between.
We'll get to the heart of the beast in a minute, but let me go over some of the running gear first, and we'll talk about the motor because it's got a brand new motor in it. The seat is a moto seat, red, white, and blue. Seat cover, the graphics package on it, well, you'll never see another one like it. It's got the Kaplan America stickers on the front right here, the CR500AFX Honda logos. It has the graphics on the swing arm, the front fork guards, the side covers, the rear fender. Those are by Steiger Designs, Christy Steiger. This is her custom kit number 31. You see it has the Michelin graphics on there because this one's running Michelin tires. These are actually DOT street legal tires. There's actually a DOT certification on these tires, so the tires are actually street legal, although they look like off-road tires.
AKA they'll hold up over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and this thing will do over 100 miles an hour with the right gearing on it. You can see the frame is absolutely pristine. The bottom of the frame doesn't have a scuff on it. The top of the frame is polished beautifully. The frame rails on the side, no evidence of any off-road wear whatsoever. I mean, it looks absolutely brand new. So doesn't the subframe, the air box, all the running gear. The bike's perfectly straight. They came from AJ with a kickstand. This is a Fastway Promotions billet aluminum kickstand. Very nicely done. It tucks up behind the rear fender. It's not in the way. Super, everywhere you look, there's $100 bills on this bike. It's at the TM Design Factory Edition Teflon chain guide with all new hardware. It's got the brand new Renthal sprocket with a brand new gold chain. The TM Design Work frame sliders, the TM Design Work rollers. Again, the original factory covers are in mint condition. One of the other cool features, and I just figured this out today. I didn't realize it had a reserve on it, but I ran out of gas riding it around the compound here earlier, and it has a reserve feature, which is something you never get on a motocross bike, and it comes in handy. You got the oversized tank, you've got the reserve. It has the Kian PWK Air Striker carburetor, brand new twin air filter, and I'll get to the best part, the motor, in a second. I think I covered most of the running gear. Did I leave it in the note, Kenny?
No, man. Race Tech did the suspension, 2013 CRF suspension, valved, sort of set up for this application. Tremendous.
Yep, lots of cool bits like the billet mounts, the protectors on the bottom there. If you zoom in, you can see it's got a brand new braking front brake wave rotor on there and new pads. It has the billet anodized front rim lock there, and the nice matching billet cap here. Just nice little touches like that everywhere on this bike. Like no stone was left unturned. When they redid the brakes, they put a new Moose Racing bling kit on there with the anodized red Moose Racing. Again, new grips. Coming around this side here, you can see it has the blue silicone radiator hoses. Full works connection kit with the engine oil fill anodized plug. The red cover on the rear master cylinder, which has also been flushed and bled and has new brake pads on it. The rear rotors in brand new condition.
Those axle blocks.
It has the matching Moose Racing axle blocks. Is the TM Design Works protector for the sprocket.
All the red bling and the blue radiator hoses, which are actually Service Honda rad hoses, all plays together nicely. You know, Pops, I want to talk about the motor.
Before we do that, I'm almost there. The iBox spring on the shock, when Race Tech redid it, it's got an iBox spring on there. And also, take a look under here. This is not something you'll ever get on a normal CR500. This is an overflow bottle to make it street legal, and this is the charger for the battery. The ignition system on this came from the factory with a lighting coil, but they were problematic. They had issues with it. So Wizard, when he rebuilt the motor, we'll get into that in a second. It's a brand new engine. The entire motor is brand new, including the engine case. He set it up with a sealed battery in the airbox that runs the lights, and when the battery runs down, you just plug it in at home, plug it into the wall. So I think I pretty much covered all the running gear on this, didn't I? So now let's get to the engine. When I got this bike in, I told Wizard, I said, I want you to go right through it. So he took the engine out, and after close examination, he had the cylinder off. He discovered a crack over here on the right side engine case where the kicker is. It's kind of a common thing to have happen. So he bulletproofed the unit. He put a brand new, if you zoom in here, you can see this right side engine case. If you look at the bottom, you'll see the right side is this entire engine case is brand new. The right side of the engine case is an OEM Honda part. They still make them. They're only like $380 or something. They're not a lot of money for that side of the case. So we went with a brand new engine case. He also upgraded the kicker to a solid kicker shaft. The ones that come standard on them were hollow. It's got a solid kicker shaft. And also, it's got a complete Recluse clutch on here. That's an automatic clutch. They're about $1,100 for the clutch. A lot of money was put into this bike. So it's got the new Recluse clutch. It's got the new case half. It's got new crankcase bearings, all new crankcase bearings, seals, all new gaskets. You can see the green gaskets here. You can see the new base gasket, the new head gasket, new piston, new rings, new spark plug, new coolant, and new gear lube. So basically the entire engine, it was a crank up rebuild of the engine, and it runs and feels like a brand new motorcycle. Very little vibration. Now these motors, these 500s are bulletproof. They're fairly easy to rebuild. The average home mechanic can do them. This one, Wizard went right through it. It's been Wizard tuned, jetted, in all new parts. Every gasket, every seal, and all the bearings on the bottom end are brand new, and it's got a new piston. So it's basically a brand new engine. And I wanted to save the best for last. In my opinion, that's the best. There's lots of cool other bits like new hardware on it everywhere. Very low hour. Look at the swing arm on this thing. There's not a scuff anywhere on the swing arm.
You know, it's got like the factory machining marks.
It's got the factory machining marks, as you can see. No one's ever monkeyed with that. It's never been off-road. Well, I can't really say it hasn't been off-road. It's probably been off-road, but mostly ridden on the street or cow trails or something, because there's no evidence on the cycle parts of anywhere.
Look at the gallery. I took some up-close photos of the bottom of the linkage and the swing arm, and that's the stuff that you can't fake. It's like out of the box, fresh.
That's the
chassis, no time.
There's thousands of dollars of upgrades and extras on this, between the chains and sprockets and bars and graphics and seat and the pipe and the recluse clutch and the race tech suspension. Standard, these bikes are over. If you order a new AF from built500.com today, they start at $21,000, and this has got thousands of dollars of upgrades on it, and it's done. It's ready to go. Your insurance and taxes will be a lot less on this than they would on a new bike if you registered it. That's about all I have to say. It's as close to brand new as you'll ever get in AFX, and it's been wizard tuned. The engine's brand new. The frame is perfect. What else could you want? Like my dad used to say, if you're not happy right now, you'll never be happy. It's got the real nice LED tail light. Just a super cool, and this is where you mount the license plate right here.
And the best part about it, it'll pass state inspection. It has fully functional turn signals, brake light, headlight, high, low, and a horn.
It does not have a rear brake switch on the front brake right here. Only has the rear brake. The rear brake switch doesn't have one on the front. So depending on, check with your DOT. You may or may not need that in your state. I'm not sure. Every state's different. Some have different sound decibel readings. So check with your DMV. But certainly, probably the most kick-ass enduro bike you could possibly get, a big bore 500.
For example, in Connecticut, a running light in the rear and a headlight in the front will suffice to plate one of these. But check your state. Absolutely.
You can see it has the Service Honda emblem on this is the original sticker from Service Honda. Those can get power washed off very easily. You can see the Service Honda on the bottom. The original peg shifter and rear brake lever are like brand new. And I can't think of, is there anything else you could possibly do to a CR500? This has got like every option and accessory known to man, really.
No, it's got all the bling. It's got the suspension kit. It's got the pipe silencer, the moto seat gripper, seat cover. It's all custom. It's got the limited 25th anniversary of Built 500 graphic kit.
Yeah, zoom in on that. 'Cause a lot of people may not know AJ's 25th year is this year. 25 years of building aluminum frame conversions since 1997. And this AFX was one of his favorite builds. When I spoke to him about it, I guess he sold quite a few of these back in the day when they were producing them at Service Honda. But these days, the production has slowed down quite a bit, and it's going to take you probably, well, you'd have to call them yourself, but we've had 2 on order for over 6 months, and they're supposed to be done in 3 weeks, he said. Hopefully they'll be in, but they're going to be pricey. So, and ours are just standard motocross, not enduro version, in AFX enduro versions.
To set one up like this, you know, I'm not even sure that there's enduro kits, lighting kits for these bikes still available. I know
you'd have to do like Wizard did with the battery.
Right. But who was the vendor that was making these?
Baja Designs.
Baja Designs, no longer making a dual sport kit for the 500.
Yeah, it's pretty much Unobtanium. You can't buy one of these right now. This is probably the only one in the country for sale right now that I know of. But it's certainly the nicest.
At the same time, all the chassis parts can be replaced. The CR500 motor, tremendous aftermarket. Really, I mean, guys, you can still buy top ends, OEM.
Honda still makes the cylinders for them.
They still make the cylinders.
And they make the right side case half. They don't make the left side. You have to go to AJ. AJ makes a complete billet engine case for this for about $1,500.
Cranks, of course, bought at lower end components.
Cranks.
Everything. The motor can be rebuilt and rebuilt. This is a forever bike.
We built a brand new engine for Junior out of all new parts on his race bike. We went with the billet engine cases, the billet crank, everything. The transmission was cryo heat treated. We spent about $8 grand on that motor, but the fact is you can build a CR500 from scratch if you wanted to. So all the parts are still available, either new or secondary market. AJ's doing it now. He's building two brand new ones for us right now. So 25 years, built500.com. And this is really quite a fantastic, it's a dream machine is what this thing is. It's an absolute dream machine. Don't forget to turn the key on, and it starts just like any CR500. First kick, you do it right.